Hello and welcome to this quick May I See team report, kind of team breakdown for what I brought to the May International Challenge, essentially qualifiers for the Players' Cup. Spoilers, I did not qualify, unfortunately, but this is the team that we brought. I'm going to go over kind of what my thought process was, what I'd change, and what I learned during the tournament, or during the May I See. It wasn't really a tournament per se, but it was very good, very awesome tournament. Saying tournament is not, but we had G-Max hat with Life Orb, Magic Bounce, 252 HP, 4 defense, and 252 special attack. Zero attack IVs, but not 0 speed IVs. The reason I wanted to do this is because knowing other Trick Room teams, because I play Trick Room a ton, in a best of one setting, I would rather, if I'm mirroring against a Trick Room team, I'd rather be going first and be able to like reverse Trick Room and work with that. And that's like that's just me, and that's how I think I should have played that. So all of my Trick Room mons, except for Conkeldurr, is 14 speed. I couldn't manage to get anything higher than 14 speed within like 4 hours of trying, so I just said fuck it, 14 speed, whatever. But yeah, so the hat had Dazzling Gleam, Dark Pulse, Giga Drain, and Trick Room. No Psychic move, which is interesting. I opted out of bringing a Psychic move because of my team's overall weakness to Rhyperiors, because I'm not running Solar Beam on Torkoal. And in a best of one setting, obviously, because this was the best of one, I didn't think needing Psychic was super important. A lot of the time when I needed Psychic, Dazzling Gleam or G-Max Smite hit just the same. Especially with the support Liepard that we had, which is a very, very standard Liepard at this point. Holding the Focus Sash with Prankster, 252 HP, 252 speed, Timid, lowering Foul Play damage on us. With Fake Tears, Copycat, Charm, and Foul Play. I used Foul Play, not a ton. I could probably switch it out for Fake Out and not really complain. Fake Tears was really handy. Let me bypass Auroraville on Lapras teams and end up two-shotting Lapras with G-Max Smite. As well as Charm being very helpful for the Dragapult matchup against Conkeldurrs, etc., etc. As well as like being able to Fake Tears on my Milotic, knowing I'll be fast or slower than it, and then be in Trick Room with Hat and being able to Giga Drain and nullifying any boost it would have got from competitive because of that is also really nice. Obviously, the main line of play with this team is in turn 1, Dynamax, Hat, click the max guard button that is Trick Room, then Copycat, set Trick Room. What I learned later on in the tournament is that if they hard reverse my Trick Room, which is the only way to stop that outside of using Protect on a Torkoal or Protect or like a different priority move like Ally Switch, the only way to stop that Trick Room from going up is by reversing it. And because Trick Room goes last in priority bracket, I could just Copycat again and then go from there, and I'll still be in Trick Room for that turn. A lot of people decided that they were going to ignore my Liepard a lot of the time, which means that I could just spam out Fake Tears, which means I can get kills later. I can use Charm to guarantee I don't lose certain matchups, which is really nice. So that's kind of the main two players on the team. We would always bring Conkeldurr and Torkoal in the back because they're very good under Trick Room. Our Conkeldurr is 252 HP, 252 attack, 4 special defense, AV. I run AV so I can bluff being Iron Fist to bait Willows and status on me, because that's what a lot of sets are now. Because obviously, I've been saying this the entire time, because it's a best of one format, I can do that. If I were to bring this team to a BO3 format, I'd be Iron Fist for sure, or I'd be running Flame Orb. But I feel like Guts, Assault Vest, and being able to bluff that, both protects Conkeldurr from getting statused with something like Para, because they're like, because if I am Guts, they won't target, as well as being prevented from going to sleep, because a lot of people won't target Conkeldurr with sleep right away because Flame Orb. Which is interesting, but that's besides the point. We had Mach Punch, Drain Punch, Ice Punch, and Fire Punch. Obviously, because we're AV, we couldn't run Protect. This team could use a lot more Protect. I probably should have had Protect on Dusclops, but we'll get to Dusclops when we talk about Dusclops. But yeah, no, that's a pretty good Conkeldurr set. Conkeldurr won me a lot of games. I didn't end up Dynamaxing it a lot. Typically, I only really Dynamaxed Hat. But like if I needed to, I could have Dynamaxed this Conkeldurr and done work with it, being able to set, being able to change the weather with Ice Punch, being able to change the weather with Fire Punch, to boost Torkoal as well. Mach Punch and Drain Punch are just good stab moves on Conkeldurr. Then we had my Torkoal, who is 252 HP, 252 special attack, 4 special defense, quiet nature, with Eruption, Heat Wave, Earth Power, and Protect. Eruption is an incredible move. I got a little bit greedy with it, and I would click it, expecting not to take damage, and then take damage when I did. So I should learn to click Heat Wave more often, because the power difference is huge once you start taking damage. But under Trick Room, if you get Torkoal in under Trick Room, firing off Charcoal boosted Fire Sun boosted Eruptions is insane. It does mad damage, and is very helpful in picking up some much needed KOs. Heat Wave is really nice because if I am going slower and I know I'll have a hit, I can still fire off a Charcoal boosted Sun boosted Heat Wave, which is a really big damage number. Unfortunately, it can miss. We lost one game, I think, because of a Heat Wave miss. Other than that, we hit most of our Heat Waves. I wouldn't complain. Then we had Dusclops with Eviolite with Frisk, because Frisk and having immediate knowledge is really nice. 252 HP, 120 defense, 136 special defense, just to live the most amount of hits possible. My Dusclops never got one-shotted, even by Max Darkness or Max Phantasms. Like from Dragapult, for example. We were Calm Nature. We had Trick Room, Ally Switch, Pain Split, and Bulldoze. This is an adaptation. These last two mons are adaptations of my team from Champions Cup. This Dusclops has Frisk, but is missing Nightshade, and instead has Pain Split. Pain Split lets me live more hits, but as well, if Rhyperior were to get really low and Dusclops is at full health, I can Pain Split my Rhyperior and get Rhyperior boosted up again, meaning he can take more hits, and Dusclops is going to live hits anyway, and I can keep doing that process until both of them are knocked out. I didn't typically lead these two. Looking back, I would switch these two to a Venusaur or a Charizard and have a little bit of a Sun Core as well. That way I can bring like Venusaur, Torkoal, Liepard, and Conk, because I did not have a mode outside of Trick Room. I was hard Trick Room, and if I knew that my opponent was going to be able to reverse Trick Room and keep it reversed and keep it locked, then I was screwed. I was not getting a Trick Room up, and it was very, very hard to win that match. So looking back, I would run a Venusaur, a Charizard, and another Mon in the place of Dusclops Rhyperior because I never led them. Every team that I fought during the Mega-IC looked like it was perfectly made so that it wouldn't lose to Dusclops Rhyperior. There was one game that I did, and I got 4-0'd because I called wrong on their leads. I thought they would see G-Max Hat Liepard and be like, okay, I need to lead this to beat that. And if I did that, I won that game easily because they didn't have a way to stop that, but instead they had the way to stop Dusclops Rhyperior. So yeah, Dusclops Rhyperior is good. Rhyperior is a good mon. Dusclops and Rhyperior are very good mons. I just personally wouldn't run them on this team in the future because of the circumstances surrounding it. But Rhyperior with Weakness Policy, Solid Rock, 68 HP, 188 attack, 252 special defense, Brave Nature with Rock Slide, High Horsepower, Iron Head, and Protect. This is adaptation from the Champions Cup Rhyperior that I used, where we didn't have Iron Head, we had Fire Punch instead. Obviously now I've adapted it so that we have Iron Head because that would give us the positive matchup against something like a hat mirror. I think we had one hat mirror, and I just led my own hat and dark pulsed it, and that's how we dealt with it, or max darkness it, excuse me. I fought a couple Rhyperior teams that were pretty easy to deal with after I Fake Tears and then Max Overgrowth, or even Giga Drain. The Rhyperiors was really nice. But overall, I think this team was really good. I went 25-20, which is better than my previous IC, but not as good as I feel like I should be doing. And obviously, looking back, I know what I need to have changed. I know what I've learned. I've learned that I need to stop treating everybody like they're like Wolfie, Ashton, Eduardo, and anything like that. I need to treat them like they are a normal person. Like they're not going to make the best play every single time, and rather they're going to make what they think is the best play. Which oftentimes, like there was a lot of games where they would lead something that has Fake Out or Follow Me, and I'd be like, okay, they're going to go for that, so I need to Fake Tears and Smite and hope I live, when I could have just Max Guard, Copycat, get my Trick Room up, and won the game like that. Liepard is an insane support Pokemon. I honestly kind of slept on Liepard. Even after people started doing well with it at tournaments, I still was like, okay, Liepard's kind of a gimmick. I think Liepard has a place in this meta. I think it's way better than Sableye right now because it's faster, and it's faster at base. As well as its access to Fake Tears and Charm and all of that. I think it's better than Sableye right now, especially, and as well, because Sableye is being used less at the moment, and it's more being used as a range setter, rather than it is an actual support Pokemon. That's how I've seen it be played. I've seen it be played with Prankster ranked against. I think Liepard could fill that role even better, as well as having Charm and Fake Tears, being able to give that kind of support is very nice. So I'm gonna look to try and make more Liepard teams in the future, but we'll see. We'll see what we go from there. Torkoal, amazing. I might obviously Hat, Liepard, Conk, and Torkoal have all very simplified spreads. I built this team a day before. Knowing how much time I needed to breed all these Pokemon and get them what I need. I built this team a day before my date that I needed to start breeding up the team and hunting down the team. And so I had to make very simplified spreads. I couldn't calc as much as I wanted to. Looking back, I could probably give Conk less attack and it would still get the 2-shots and the 1-shots it needs. Torkoal I think is fine. I think Torkoal's a very standardized Pokemon, but there's a lot of different things you can do with it moveset-wise. I would have run Yawn on it, probably over Earth Power. Yawn support's really nice. Hat I would tweak for sure. Give it a little bit more bulk. Probably take off the Life Orb, because I was noticing I was losing more games because I was taking full damage from Steel-type moves than I was missing KOs. So I would probably change it to a Babiri Berry, or just a health recovery berry of some kind. Conk is amazing. I think we already covered Conk when I talked about it. In a best of 3 setting, I would not run this set. In a best of 1 setting, I think having Assault Vest Guts is very nice, and being able to bluff, being Iron Fist. So they're like, all right, I can safely burn this Conkeldurr, and then losing games because they burned my Conkeldurr, and I can just go for Guts boosted Drain punches. But yeah, so that is my main IC team report. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I will be sure to respond and answer those questions right away. But with that, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.